You may only think of Apache Arrow as this columnar data format that you can use to pass data between systems, but it's more than that. It's actually an ecosystem of tools. Now, one of the tools you may not have heard of is called ListFlights. And what Flight is essentially a server that allows you to run RPCs, remote procedure calls, between machines or services, but it uses gRPC specifically, so protocol buffers. And on top of that, it allows you to stream Arrow data. So you can use gRPC for maximum scalability and speed with Arrow data over a network. I think that's personally pretty cool, and I'm going to show you how to set one up. Let's get into it. First, I just wanted to take us to the Aeroflight RPC page to read the opening statement about what it is. So Aeroflight is an RPC framework for high performance data services based on Arrow data. Okay, it's built on top of gRPC, which means Google RPC, and the IPC format in Arrow. Flight is organized around streams of Arrow record batches. You can either download them or you can upload them to another service. So down and up using gRPC for Arrow data. Without getting into the more complicated part of Aeroflight, I think it just makes sense to make a really quick visualization where essentially you've got some kind of service here and you've got a second service here. And let's say this first service is your local computer, right? So you are running some sort of script there, and this other service, say, is an S3 bucket with Parquet on it. Basically, the way gRPC is going to work is it's going to leverage functions and to ask things of the service and then have something returned. And again, it is leveraging gRPC for this. So remote procedure calls. This is a little different than like a REST endpoint. That's not quite what's happening here. Aeroflight has a series of methods that you can call in a script. They're already pre-named. There's DoGet, getFlightList. It's these methods that are already named that have these particular functions, right? It's a framework of these remote procedure calls. You just use them in a certain way and you pass certain context in that you need to be able to get the data that you want from a service. So it's not the same as, say, Arrow database connectivity, which is using a driver to connect to a database. And it's not quite the same as just using, say, maybe PyArrow to read from some sort of data source or Parquet. This is leveraging gRPC specifically. And what that does is it's really, really geared towards streaming information and streaming data. So it's a unique tool in the Arrow ecosystem, and I find it interesting, and that's why I wanted to show it today. So these gRPC calls, these are methods. They have different names to them. If we actually run over to the documentation again, you'll see there's more complicated versions of what I just showed you, but they've got uploading data here, for example, right? So there will be a client with an initial do put on the flight data to the server, and then there will be a stream of flight data. This is uploading the data to it, okay? And then there'll be a result from that metadata that was uploaded back to the client, back to the other service. So do put, flight data, and put result. These are all methods in this framework that you're going to use in your code. If we come over to Cursor, I have an Aeroflight script set up and a server set up. This is almost like a verbatim, I think it's literally like the thing that Matt Tobel has in his example in In-Memory Analytics with Apache Arrow, that book. And I just kind of typed it out. It was in a book and I just sort of looked at it and typed it out. But it's a really good, simple server just talking to a public S3 bucket for data. And so here you can see that we have a class, a Python class that we create called server, and it's going to inherit flight server base. And that's coming from Aeroflight specifically. From there, we just note that S3 is going to use the file system, S3 file system here, and we talk about the region, and we're going to have anonymous authentication because it's a public bucket. We create a couple other methods that are leveraging the name methodology of Aeroflight. So ListFlights, this is a predefined method name. And then we're going to put what we need from the list flights. Okay, so we're going to pass it the path to the S3 bucket. If if it has criteria, which normally means, are you adding some sort of filter, it's going to append it to this bucket URI. We're not going to be doing anything like that. So we're just going to put this path through specifically. So there's no criteria, but if there was criteria, it would get appended to it. From there, it's going to take the S3, it's going to get the file info from the S3 bucket that we offered it, and it's going to recursively go through the files in that bucket. And from there, it's going to be called flist, which means flight list. That's what it's going to return. And then for the info in that list of files, it's going to get the directory name, and then it's going to get just path information. And ultimately, what it's going to do is it's going to yield, using a generator function here in Python, it's going to yield the name of the file and the path of it. So we're going to get some metadata, and then we're going to get the path file of it as well. From there, when that gets returned, we're going to use DoGet, another method in Aeroflight. And that's also going to use the S3 object, the self that we have at the top. But then we're going to open the input file, okay? And we're going to pass it the ticket. Ticket, normally, it would mean an SQL string that you're sent, or in this case, it's going to be the flights themselves. And so what this DoGet method is going to do is we're going to take these files, the metadata, the path files that we got from the list flights, and then it's going to go through each of those files, and it's going to return the schema of each of those Parquet files that it goes through. So to reiterate, there is a list flights method that we're going to use in this server class. That's going to go get the path file metadata for the Parquets. That's going to get returned, and then we're going to send a DoGet using that information to go get the schemas for those. So the gRPC is kind of acting as these single calls, like a function is just getting ran. It's not necessarily this loop that's happening over on the other side of things. It's basically saying, I need something, and that's getting returned. And then now that it has what it needs next, it's using the DoGet method, and it's going to get the arrow schemas from that. And then below this, we just basically have what is the client information right here. So this is going to run as basically the client side when we actually run this. And so, with server, it's going to create the client, which is a flight client connecting to just a local host. And then for F in that client, we're going to list those flights like we talked about, the list flights method. And then we're going to use those flights to send back through with the DoGet method. And that's going to give us the schema of all of those Parquet files. So if we run UV, because I'm using UV, run server pi, you'll see that that is returning, just like we saw, that's returning where the S3 bucket is, the name, the file path of it. It's then going and returning a pipe arrow table from that DoGet method. So we get the overall schema, and then we do get the actual data information itself, which is really cool. So this is a very, very basic instance of using Flight. We could then leverage Flight SQL, which allows you to incorporate a query engine on top of Flight so you can pass it query strings. So DuckDB, for example, would allow you to, from a client standpoint, pass a query, an SQL query to DuckDB. It would then execute that and then be sent via gRPC from the flight server to, say, the S3 bucket, and then returned that way as well. So instead of needing to necessarily build these methods out, it allows you to pass it a SQL query instead, which is very, very powerful, and I'll probably show in a quick example in another video. Today, I just wanted to get you up and running off the ground here for this. I'm going to put this little example into a GitHub repo as well. That'll be in the description, and you can start to test Aeroflight and see what you think about it. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. That's just a quick video of just getting you moving, bring you a little bit closer into the Apache Aero ecosystem. I'm going to be making more videos like this, just these little quick wins so we can start to understand what Apache offers. I'm going to be doing this with DuckDB as well and Duck Lake. I'm really excited. This year, I'm going to be all in on Aero, DuckDB, and lake houses in general. So Duck Lake's going to be a big one. Iceberg's going to be in there, probably some Delta too. So I'm excited about that, but this one right here, really, really good starting point, and hopefully it gets the gears turning. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I've also got my Substack and my LinkedIn in the description below that you can find me there, as well as my X, which I am talking a lot about this now on X and getting some good momentum there. Come check it out. I also have a technical content company called Early Signal. Early Signal creates bespoke technical content for data tech startups so it can communicate its technology and its use cases to its ICP. I'll have a link below for that as well, and feel free to connect and let's have a talk. And as always, everyone, I really hope you enjoyed this video and have a great day.